Imagine you are adrift, the ocean stretching endlessly in every direction. Your world is reduced to a small, inflatable life raft, bobbing on the waves. The sun beats down relentlessly, and your only hope is a heavy metal box, your emergency rations kit. Inside, tins of food, flares, a first aid kit, and a small supply of water. But the water is finite, and you know it won't last. Every drop becomes more precious than gold. The sea taunts you water everywhere, but none to drink. The real weight isn't the box, but the decisions you must make to survive. This was the reality for countless airmen and sailors in World War II, stranded in the vast Pacific. Their training prepared them for combat, not for the psychological and physical ordeal of being a castaway. The emergency kit was their lifeline, but its technology was often dangerously flawed. Survival depended on more than what was in the box. It required a new way of thinking. The sun scorched by day, the cold bit at night, and the raft's motion made rest nearly impossible. Dehydration blurred the line between reality and hallucination. In this state, clear decisions were the most critical survival tool and the first to fail. The ocean was not just an enemy, it was a test of ingenuity and endurance. The emergency kit was both hope and a reminder of how little you had. In the end, survival was about adaptation, not just equipment. Early survival kits seemed logical, packed with canned water and chemical briquettes to turn seawater into fresh. But in reality, these kits were dangerously flawed. The chemical briquettes required careful handling and precise steps impossible for someone exhausted and dehydrated. The process produced little water and, if done incorrectly, left dangerous salt or chemicals behind. Desperate survivors sometimes drank this contaminated water, worsening their dehydration and hastening death. The very tool meant to save them became a deadly trap. Survivors told of comrades who grew sick from the kits, their hopes dashed. The lesson: complexity is the enemy in survival. Gear must be simple, robust, and intuitive qualities the chemical kits lacked. They were a laboratory solution that failed in the chaos of the open ocean. The false promise of these kits left many even more desperate. Stranded at sea, your body's main enemy is dehydration. The sun and wind pull moisture from you relentlessly. In these conditions, you need far more than the usual 2 liters of water a day. Without it, your body begins to shut down, first thirst, then dark urine, then no sweat. Your core temperature rises, blood thickens, and your heart strains. Dizziness, confusion, and headaches set in as your brain suffers. Simple tasks become impossible. Eventually, kidney failure and delirium follow. Without water, survival is measured in days, often fewer than a week. The countdown is brutal and unforgiving. The body cannot win this battle alone. Water is not just a need, it's a race against time. Only outside help or ingenuity can save you. Surrounded by endless water, the urge to drink seawater can be overwhelming. But seawater is 4 times saltier than your body can handle. Your kidneys must use more fresh water to expel the salt than you gain by drinking it. Each sip makes you more dehydrated, not less. This vicious cycle leads to kidney failure and organ shutdown. The relief is an illusion, the damage is real and rapid. Hallucinations and delirium follow as the brain breaks down. Old sailors' tales of madness were rooted in this harsh biology. The ocean offers no shortcuts. Only respect for its power can keep you alive. Drinking seawater is a fatal mistake. The sun, once a torment, became the key to survival thanks to Dr. Maria Telkes. A pioneer in solar energy, she invented the solar still during World War II. Her device was simple, an inflatable plastic balloon with a black mat inside. Pour seawater onto the mat, let the sun heat it, and water vapor rises. The salt stays behind. Pure water condenses on the inside of the dome. Droplets run down and collect in a pouch, safe, distilled drinking water. No chemicals, no moving parts, just sunlight and seawater. The solar still was a game changer, robust, intuitive, and effective. It worked with nature, not against it. For castaways, it was a lifeline that didn't require perfect conditions or complex steps. Dr. Telkes' invention was pure genius. It turned the castaways' greatest enemy, the sun, into their greatest ally. Survival was now possible, drop by precious drop. The solar still was brilliant, but using it was a challenge. Inflating the balloon took effort, especially for the weak and dehydrated. It had to be secured to the raft and constantly adjusted to catch the sun. Rough seas could contaminate the fresh water if not watched carefully. The still-produced water slowly dripped by agonizing drip. On a good day, a pint might be collected enough to survive, but never enough to quench real thirst. Patience and discipline were essential. Drinking too soon wasted effort. The device demanded vigilance and a clear head, rare commodities in survival situations. For those who managed, the still was a lifesaver and a focus for their energy. It gave survivors a task, a sense of control, and hope. The solar still was more than a tool. It was a test of endurance. Success depended as much on the survivor's will as on the device itself. In the struggle for life, every drop counted. The solar still marked a shift in survival philosophy. Early kits tried to conquer nature with chemicals, an approach that often failed. The still, by contrast, worked with nature, mimicking the water cycle, evaporation, condensation, precipitation. It harnessed the sun's heat instead of fighting it. The lesson: survival isn't about overpowering the wild, but adapting to it. Dr. Telkes' invention showed that the solution was in nature's own processes. Simple, robust tools that cooperate with the environment are the key. The solar still's quiet dripping was the sound of adaptation and hope. Survival is about learning the rules of your environment and using them. It's not man versus wild, but man within the wild. The enduring legacy of the solar still is this change in thinking. Whether in a raft or on land, working with nature is the path to survival. One life-saving drop at a time, the lesson endures.